All right, we're live. We're live, LukaNation, for
Yay.
your favorite Sunday segment. And Cage, he's wearing a hat today. He was out by the pool swimming and tanning. I'm just
Tan,
picturing. Yeah. And you were at a show today, so the man's been he's been moving around, and I hope he warms up faster than the Giannis and the Bucks in Game 4. But Cage, big weekend in sports, guys. I want to let you know. So I posted this in a story, but Slab Stocks is going live with Gary in an hour. I don't know if you guys have followed, but if you just follow at Slab Stocks on Instagram, you'll see there's this kind of charity event that they did, raised over $100,000 to send kids to camp. 6 p.m. You're gonna have Gary go live, talk about that event, talk about national, talk about the hobby, which. Hobby's buzzing, Cage, whether you like it or not. The hobby is in full bloom. And guys, we're not going to take any longer than an hour. We're going to have a hard stop right at 6 p.m. Eastern, so you could jump over and listen to Slab Stocks and Gary V on Instagram. Cage.
Gary will be late.
How you doing? Do you need a little coffee? You need a little you need a little soda? Maybe diet's not the move today, Cage?
I meant to get my soda for this. and I didn't do it. Maybe I'll yell to the kids and be like, "Bring me a soda" or something. We'll see.
Cage, you have family. You have family in the comments.
Oh, look at this, Max.
Maybe that will wake you up. That'll get you going.
Max the Pokey Kid. There you go. He's at the show with me today. Big Max the Pokey Kid. Gotta love it. This dude has more Charizards than anybody I know. It's just Charizard after Charizard after Charizard. What's up, Matt? Matt Pedinato. What up, boy?
Cage.
Yeah, man. It's been a busy day. It's been a fun day. So I'll definitely turn on the energy. I promise. What he's talking about, why he's giving me a little bit of all the time is, like 30 seconds beforehand. He's like, "Oh, you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I got a show. I got this. I was just got out of the pool. It's 5 o'clock. I run over here." And he's like, "All right, well, you're gonna bring some energy."
I want to make sure you're gonna bring it.
He's the fluffer. It's good,
You could tell. So Jrue Holliday, someone gave that man a pep talk before yesterday's game, because he was not the same player he was in games 1 and 2. So that's what I was trying to do. I mean, you're our Jrue Holliday. Was he the best player on the court yesterday?
Was he Batman? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's not. I didn't say that. But fine. I'll give you my. I've never seen someone play that well on both sides of the ball in this postseason. So I think that was one of the best.
Yeah, not taking anything away.
Not taking from Giannis.
No, not taking anything away from any teams. It seems to me that people's style of play, people's ability to play, in this series, more than any that I remember, has been dictated by the refs. So no, I'm being serious. Jrue Holliday, he is a very good defender. He is, on the ball defender. He's body. He makes it very difficult for you to make moves. He jumps in the passing lanes. He's a very, very good defender. Oftentimes, the refs will call him on some of that. It's too much body. It's too much hand checking. And, you get somebody out of their game. And in the beginning of the series, he was a little bit of foul trouble. He was a little bit off his game. There were some plays he couldn't make. He couldn't play the defense he's trying to make. And some people, it's all a whole game. It's momentum. It's trying to get into the flow of the game. And you could tell last night's game, I mean, even Van Gundy, who's an old school coach and let stuff play, he's like, that's a foul. Like, these are fouls. This is hand check. And he was really up on Booker. I mean, obviously Booker scored a bunch of points, but that really has a lot of impact on the game. I'm not saying it's fixed. I'm not saying it's rigged.
Why do you think Booker doesn't shoot more 3-pointers?
I don't know.
You notice that?
No. I mean, I think he tries to, but he winds up getting a lot of foot on the line twos. He's had 4 or 5.
I think he had 3 attempts yesterday. Yeah. And in today's day and age, his game, Kobe didn't shoot a lot of threes either. But in today's day and age, I'm not sure that's going to work with teams, kind of either getting to the paint, getting to the rim, or shooting threes.
His points. This series so far, I mean, we can talk about.
He is getting his points.
This series comes down to the last 2 games. In Game 4, the Suns were the better team, but in the end, Milwaukee found a way to pull that game out. In this game, Milwaukee was the better team, and the Suns had a shot to pull it out at the end. They were down 1. They had the ball, and they could have scored, and they could have taken that game, even though the Bucks were the better team for the vast majority of that game. And the Suns didn't find a way to pull it out. That is all the series has come down to. It's a very evenly matched series. You said that. Got to give you credit. I made my little Suns in 4 cracks and the whole deal. You said this was going 6 or 7. Obviously, you're right. It's been entertaining. It's been entertaining. I don't see really any real jumps in Giannis's card prices yet. So
We talked about that though. That's going to be the. We'll talk about that later. I want to get to the topic du jour, Cage, because people aren't here to listen to us talk about NBA and basketball. They want to hear about this Jordan sale. And coincidentally, you now apparently you're a big celebrity. You're showing off your collection to everybody. I don't know if that was, you stroking your ego or what that was, Cage.
This 377th episodes of stroking my ego. That's all this is in. The whole thing.
So you're a big deal. I mean, you have a Joe Montana, you have a Jordan rookie. What's your take on the Jordan sale that went for a record price?
Just takes one person. Remember that. Just takes one person. It takes one person in February in Golden Auction to bid $700,000. It takes a little bit of a bidding war. I think it's a perfect storm for that card. And keep in mind, there are 2 Jordan PSA 10s on eBay right now for $500,000, for $499. So anybody who thinks the Jordan PSA 10 is worth $840,000 right now, just overall broad stroke, the Jordan is worth $840 is wrong, because you can go on there right now and buy one for $5. Okay, buy it now. You don't have to make an offer, right? You can buy it now and get it for $5. One sold last night for $380 something. The same time, one sold for $840. Here's why I say it's a perfect storm. One, I think people are trying to push this third-party grading of third-party graders. The Mike Baker thing. We were just talking about it, right? It was, it seems odd to me, right, that the same week we have the Mike Baker diamond on the PSA 10 Mickey Mantle, and now you have a PWCC-S, going out there. But keep in mind, what have we seen in auctions for the last couple of weeks? We saw Golden pull a Jordan for questionable authenticity and issues with the slab, right? That Jordan card is very well known, but it's also often faked. There are often issues with it, right? And a PSA slab is a great way to make sure that it's not fake. A newer slab is even better. A lighthouse label, if you have one of those, I don't have that on all my cards. So, obviously it is what it is, but people pay a premium for that. And then not only do you have the new grade, a new slab, a PSA slab with a lighthouse label, you also have a designation that, hey, someone else looked at this card. Not only are you getting another person saying it's authentic, but you're also getting another person saying that PWCC's always had this. I have some cards that are, they're old labels. One of the cards I showed in the card point video, the Kirby Puckett 85 Topps Tiffany, is a PWCC E, I think. And, it's top 15% of the cards. Now, keep in mind, right? Do a little quick math. Back in the envelope, 320 Michael Jordans approximately. Let's just keep it right there, right? If this card with the designation PWCC-S is a top 5%, right? What that means is that this card is one of the best in PWCC's, vision, right? In PWCC's, their way of looking at it. It's one of the best 16 of them out there, right? Top 5%, right? For 320, it's about, 59 change, 16. So if you're looking to have a separator, in the separation, you already have 9 versus 10. But we talked about this, right? Like the mantle where there's 3 PSA 10s doesn't make any sense to me. But if you're looking to sit down at that table, we talked about this. You're talking about Rob G with the Mickey Mantle. It's like a poker tournament or asshole if you played that in college, a little drinking game, right? There's tables, right? There's different tables, right? And you want to move your way up to the champions table, right? Well, everybody at the champions table has a Michael Jordan. But only a few of them, only 16 of them can have a Michael Jordan that are in the top 5% of those Michael Jordans. And you're looking for those striations, right? Those levels within the hobby. Now, I guess for some people it makes sense. For the buyer, we'll see if he pays. I mean, he posted about it himself that he won it. So you would think if he's posting that, he probably is going to pay. And it looks like a legit collector who won it. That said, I did not go running around my house, dressed like Tom Cruise, wearing a button down and no pants, sliding around singing that I have a card that's worth $840,000 now. It's not. I know it's not. So.
Age. So this is where my mind went. Like, there's collectors of fine cars, right? Like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all that stuff. And you could get a Lamborghini that's been sitting on the lot, for example, for 5-6 years, 3 years, whatever. And you buy it. But there's one that comes right fresh out of the factory. I think that demands a bit of a premium. Yeah. And it's this weird thing. Because I understand, how can one Jordan sell for $270, exact Steve Jordan sell for $800? That was one of the nicest color Jordans I've seen. The corners were clean. The centering was clean.
The color.
Card. Yeah, it was a gorgeous card. And there are those buyers who, I mean, to us, a few $100,000 is like, whoa, but they just want the nicest copy in a fresh slab.
I don't think that's what it is. I mean, I really.
You really don't think so?
No.
Have you seen a nicer Jordan? Have you seen a nicer Jordan?
No, and that's great, but the premium is out of whack. Right, the premium is out of whack.
He wants it, but he doesn't care about that.
But we started off by saying, right, that it's one person, so it's less about so if you have one person or two in this case who want to have the best one, you get numbers that any card can do that. If you could have two people fighting over. Last night there was a Luka Gold, BGS 9.5 10 auto, Prism that there's only 10 of them out there. I mean, there are no PSA 10s. There's only BGS 9.5s. And, it sold for like $90-something thousand. But if two people wanted, that could have sold for $500,000 too. You never know. That's what goes on with auctions. If there's two people who want something, great. I think it's more that than anything else. I don't think it's the designator, right? Because I'll give you another example because I almost bid on this, right? Take a look at the PWCC. I think it was E or S. I think it might have been an S. Wilt Chamberlain rookie, right? The Wilt rookie sold. It was a 9. Sold for significantly less than the last couple of 9s. Even though this one is a PWCC designation, right? It was one of their better cards. They actually did a video and said that they think it's the best 9 they've ever seen. It's only 30-something 9s. And they said, I would love to see it against the 3 10s that are out there, and this probably is a nicer looking card. But that didn't go for $800,000, even though it's an iconic card, maybe not as iconic as the Jordan card. It's an iconic card, right? And it had the designation. It had a top 15% designation, not 5, 15. But all the bells and whistles were there. But in that auction last night, there were not two people who wanted to go at it on that one. And that's the difference. That's the real difference, right? And that's why when Timberland won them for $700-something thousand, or whoever won them, in the Golden auction, that's why they went for so high. That's what you get with auctions. It really just comes down to, do you have two people willing to fight over that one card? Now, I'm not shitting on it. That was a gorgeous Jordan. Right? If somebody said to me right now, hey, would you trade in yours for that? Hell yeah, I would. Well, of course. And that does tell you not every 10 is a 10. Is a 10 is a 10. And I guess maybe there's a market for the third party grading. I'm sure PSA doesn't love that, but it is what it is. But I love it. I mean, listen, there were some good sales last night in that auction. There were some real nice sales, and if you're asking me just overall what my thought is, I think we've on some of the higher end cards, we've kind of hit a bottom. We've kind of hit that plateau, and or on some we're starting to work our way back up. And it works both ways, right? What's up, Ziggy? So it works both ways. Let me say this, right? If you look at the Cardboard Chronicles story, right, they shit on the Jordan and say, hey, it's a PWCC. Yes, it's one of those cards that just it doesn't show you what it's actually selling for. They didn't mention that the LeBron Exquisite sold for one of the lower prices. I mean, it was an SGC, it wasn't a PSA, but it didn't sell for that sold for a pretty low price, comparatively to the 7-figure cards that card has been selling for in their BGS slabs previously. But you know what? They also took a shot at, and I'm honest with you guys, I'm in the market for one of these, but I didn't buy this one. So they say, hey guys, it's not all rosy. Look at this. And they show that the Wayne Gretzky PSA 9, was $200-something thousand on Card Ladder, and now it's 102 because one sold last night for $102,000. That card was as bad, if not worse, than the Jordan that was in the Golden auctions that got pulled. So on the word Oilers on the team, it was smudged. The word Oilers was actually smudged. Like the PWCC, when they trumpet the S and say, this is one of the greatest cards out there, this is one of our top 5%, and you get that premium for Jordan, on that Gretzky, they actually put a little disclaimer in it and said that note there is an issue with the smudging of the Oilers. It's like factory defect. You look at it, but they didn't. They were very quick. Like people are very fast to say, okay, we got a record, but I don't like the Jordan card, so here's why that's an outlier. But the Gretzky, the Gretzky, all of a sudden, you forget about. It works both ways, right? Not all 9s are the same. And sometimes the low price that you see something sell for, there's a reason why that's low, just like there's a reason why something's selling for on the high side. Take a look at that Gretzky that sold in the Premier and look at the word Oilers on it. It looked like somebody put oil on it. Sean, that's right. It's the same person who bought the Luka, yes. Yep.
The Luka National Treasures 1 of 1. Lighthouse, Kev says, hey, Cage, I was also spending time with you and your crew today at the show. I didn't know you
man.
have a crew now, Cage, but cool.
Yeah,
cool.
man.
You have an entourage.
I had a friend, and he brought his daughter, and my brother was there with his son. They like Pokemon cards. We were doing some wrestling cards. Ian and I actually opened a box of 97, 98 Stadium Club basketball.
Who am I? Who takes pictures?
You like that, right? Well, it's two of them. I'm pointing like this, and then the other guy's like, "Hey, let me jump in the picture." I'm like, "Okay, like this." Like what do I do? I got to point. I'm pointing both of them, right? There's two guys, so it is what it is. By the way, 97, 98 Stadium Club. You buy that box, they're all stuck together. In case anybody's thinking about opening basketball from the late 90s.
Let's talk national, see if we could help some people out. So some people can't go to national. So someone like Anthony who can't go to national, are there plays to be made benefiting off the hype of national people being away? Is there anything that I guess the question is like a follow-up. How in general do you approach making plays that take advantage of the national hype or FOMO?
Well, I mean, I don't know that there's a specific card at the National that people are going to be, hyping up. I mean, we'll know that when we're there, I guess. But what I like to do is in the weeks leading up to it, there are bargains, whether you're going or not going, right? Because people are selling their stuff to build up a bankroll for the National. So, to answer this, if I had one strategy, it's if you're not going and you're not trying to build up a bankroll in these coming weeks, right now into this morning, basically these 2 weeks, there are a million shows. Look, Bleecker, they're having an event on Tuesday that I'll be at where Layton's coming in buying people's collections. Like, hey, you need money for the National? Come on in, and I'll buy you cards for you. That's smart because people will take 10% less that they can have cash in their pocket to spend on something else in the National. People will move their slabs, and so if you're in the market for one of those, look, if you're a long-term Acuna believer, there's no better time ever to buy a card of Acuna. Because people have those slabs, they're cashing out, they're trying to move them, and they're looking for money to bring to the National, and he's injured. So those cards have come down, about as much as I've ever seen them. Juan Soto might make a little bit of a run here. His cards, people, these baseball slabs that are not Vlad right now.
You could go into Facebook groups and say, hey guys, I can't make it to National, but have some cash available. If you're looking to liquidate and get some cash on hand for National, send me some messages of cards you're looking to sell. And some people might not even realize they have some really nice gems there.
Yep.
All right, Cage. Let's get to some questions.
Sure, shoot.
Where's your soda? Where's your soda right now?
It's downstairs,
Oh, dear. Oh, no. We could pause. LukaNation. Keep going?
Keep going, definitely. Right. Keep going.
Let's talk really specific. Cards and Candy asks, yes. The kids this is why you have kids. So I've always wondered, what is the purpose of having kids? This is it. When you forget something, bring me the soda and order Chick-fil-A on Uber Eats at the same time.
Kids are great when you're in your old ages, and they help you get there faster too.
Did you bring Ian to the show?
I did. He was showing us some stuff. He was trying to make some trades. He's got a box of Stadium Club. I don't know why he went with Stadium Club 2020 instead of 2021. He's already become an irrational collector because I said, don't you want the new stuff? And he's like, no, last year we opened a box of Stadium Club 2020. We got a Lou Bob auto. So have good luck with that product. I want another one. I'm like, okay. I mean, I can't argue with that rationale.
Let me start with this one.
Sure.
The questions today were really, really specific. I didn't expect this. So I'm going to start with Drake's PC. He just messaged us. He's out of the pool. He's having a pool day with the family. So I want to answer a question for him. So he said, gold refractors out of 50 typically outsell lower numbered colored refractors out of 25 and 10. Do you see an opportunity with lower numbered non-gold parallels, or will gold always command a premium even if it's not as rare?
You want me to answer this? This is pretty straightforward. I think it's always gold, right? I just mentioned that Luka out of 10 Prism that sold last night. If you watch the video, because they do a video on those Premier auctions, you watch a video on it. Brent from PWCC actually does a very good job of explaining how Prism went with gold because Topps has been doing gold for a long time and that there's a continuity to it, right? Those gold cards came out in the early 90s. I have a Jeter gold rookie from 93 Topps, So gold's been around forever. It's always been an indicator. Topps does it where it's numbered. Every year that parallel is going to be numbered. Bowman has them. Topps Chrome has the refractors. And then Prism has them. And Prism has all of these crazy, different versions of parallels. And so does Topps Chrome, right? To me, there are more collectors out there who will say, I want a base and I want a gold. or I'm going to buy gold of this rookie this year. Like I personally have a gold Trout, a gold Yelich, a gold, Mookie Betts. Andrew has a gold Tatis. Those are the kind of cards people collect. And remember, it does come down to supply and demand. So even though there is a lower supply of, say, like orange, right? The orange parallel out of 25, right? There are also less people who year over year, when they want to pick their guy for that year or those couple of guys they're going to put their money into, who buy orange than there are that buy gold. I would say that even though gold refractors are out of 50 and, it's like an orange is out of 25, there's definitely more than twice as many people who collect gold, which is why the gold carries a premium. Even though there's double the supply, there's probably triple the demand. And I also don't like gold wave because it's just a little variant, even though that's also numbered.
What about black gold? What about black gold?
I mean, for Prism, it's funny, man.
Kind of cool.
Black gold's out of 5, and I like it. They're really cool looking cards, but I think price, that's close. Like I wouldn't be paying double for a black gold than I would for a gold, which is what you would think I should, because the black golds are out of 5 and golds are out of 10, right? Like I'd pay a premium probably for the black gold. If you give me the option of the two at the same price, I'd probably go black gold because it's only 5. But it's not gonna really it's not gonna move the needle so much for a premium for me.
Would you grade the 1/1 Edwards that was pulled yesterday?
No, I'd look at the card. I'd look at the card. Like, I would look at it and see, and see whether or not I think it had a shot at a 10. But if I saw anything wrong with it, anything at all, I wouldn't grade it. Why? We just saw Luka, 1/1 card sell for $4 million, right, without it being graded. There's one. You can't improve upon it. We're going to go back to the same conversation about third-party and third-party grading of the third party. There is nothing to differentiate that card from, right? There's no other, 1/1. That's the point of a 1/1. Now, some people like it in a slab. Some people want to make sure it's authentic. I get that, but to me, and maybe I'm insane, I'd rather buy that card raw than in a PSA 8 slab. Maybe I'm an idiot.
That's what Anthony said.
There you go.
What do you think? So 2021 Stadium Club has been awful. Ian,
yeah.
What are your thoughts on Wander Franco in Topps 2022?
I was a little upset by that, if I'm being honest. I think, Topps, it used to be pretty well known that if somebody comes up early enough and they make a cutoff and they play enough games and they're eligible, they're going to be in the rookie. They'll be in the update, or they'll be in, Series 2 or rookie and traded, or, the traded set. And Topps, I think, in recent years has played a lot of games, and I've excuse me, as sort of like a baseball purist, I always like the cup, the rookie cup card, the gold cup, to be on a second-year card. You know what I mean? And the rookie card to have the RC on it. I didn't like Yordan Alvarez being held over. The guy won Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year in 19. He has a Topps rookie card in 2020. It makes no sense at all. If he's eligible to be Rookie of the Year, put him in a card set that year. That's all a money grab to get people to be buying Series 1 Topps. And they did it again this year. Joe Adele was in, Series 2. And Wander, they really should have done it now, because Wander was in, people are going to forget this, Wander was in 2020 Update. So he has a Topps card. He was in that first prospect set. Remember they did that in Update? They made these prospects cards, that they weren't Topps. They didn't have the rookie on it, but Alec Baum was in there, and a lot of the guys, they had prospect cards, right? So now you gave the dude a Topps card in 2020 Update, and he's not going to have an actual rookie card till 2022. It smacks to me of like a cash grab. I didn't like it. It's a cool looking card. All the cards look the same. But then question, why was there no cup on it? Like Yordan, why was there no gold, the rookie cup team? Are they just assuming he's not going to make it? So maybe they'll add it on after the fact. I don't like it. To me, it's Topps playing games. And you know what? The Topps releases this year have been awful. Awful. If you bought Series 2, you lost money. I don't care what you got in it, unless you were one of the random few that hit a banger out of that. Topps Series 2 was terrible. And I think Update is going to be pretty terrible too, because these are some major guys, and they think, we'll hold it over. We'll hold it over until 20. Topps Chrome. Think of what Topps Chrome, Update would be like this year if they threw in Wander's rookie card. It seems like just like baseball can't get out of their own way when it comes to these cards, when it comes to the sport. They have these names to promote. Topps sometimes makes similar mistakes. You got this name, he's playing. Everybody's been waiting for him to come up for years. You want to wait? You want to wait more? God.
So I got a question for you then. So, would you rather be the owner or CEO and you get to choose Panini or Topps or PSA BGS?
So I'm picking one of each of those slashes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would rather own Topps and PSA. Now I've seen the valuations that Panini looks like it's being valued more than what Topps was valued.
The real question
Yeah, go ahead.
is, would you rather then own PSA or Topps?
One or the other?
That's
Topps.
right.
Topps.
Topps. Okay.
Topps. Only because of the longevity of it, right? Like, you know, I know Panini's been around for a long time, but it hasn't been a juggernaut in sports cards for that long. I mean, that's the expansion of cards. I mean, they've made soccer cards, they've made a lot of stickers. They've been around for a while. But Topps has been a behemoth in this brand for a really long time. PSA and BGS don't exactly have that shelf life. Beckett does. PSA's been around for a while, but just I always like trying to bet on the horse that's been around for quite some time. And I think Topps, they could really do some things that if I were the CEO, I would fix probably pretty quickly. I mean, that wax thing that they did with the NFTs was that's a debacle. They should fix that tomorrow.
Ziggy says he also own Panini. Kyle Brown asks, what would you do with a Giannis redemption auto that is in a sealed case from Panini? Is that something you would grade, or would you keep it in the sealed case?
You mean you got a redemption sealed?
Yep.
I mean, is the auto already? You already have the auto, or it's a redemption card? Like, I don't understand the question. Like, somebody has a redemption card. What would you do with a Giannis redemption auto that's in a sealed case?
It comes in a sealed,
I know, but what's
touch.
in the case? It's already autographed. I guess they're saying it's not a redemption card. They came in a pack. It's an autographed card. Would you grade it, or would you keep it in the sealed case? So okay, I'm gonna answer this fun. Bro Namath episode we had on. You can send it in that case to BGS, right? With like a minimum grade. Right, send it in there and make sure you're getting at least a 9.5. Put a minimum grade in there. We'll tell them to leave it in the case, and that's that. That way, if it's not going to grade really well, let's keep it in the case. But if it is going to grade something, better than having it in that raw case, then fine. I think they'll let you do that. Like the encased cards that Panini makes, you could send it in the case, right, with a minimum grade. So, to me, you send it in like a mag. Why the hell not?
People want you to be the people have spoken. They want you to be the CEO of Upper Deck. They say that's the real sleeper, because then you have auto rights to Jordan and LeBron. Cage, this is a question about the wax market. Okay.
Yep.
So I couldn't type it up. It's longer. So this is from Mike Phipps. Could you share your thoughts on the recent sealed retail market? It seemed like every product followed the same pattern last year: sky high at release, dip, slow rise, and never stops climbing. We are now seeing sealed prices fall, not climb as consistently. Did everyone get the same idea at the same time, similar to the Bakes bulk grading?
Yeah.
There's a follow-up to that, but
so the answer is yes. I mean, listen, that's a chicken or the egg, right? What came first, right? Did the Bakes crash come first or the wax crash come first? I'm going to tell you, I think that, that the price of wax not skyrocketing, is because of you can't grade every single card that comes out of a break now. I mean, I've talked about this a million times, right? I would always buy a box of Topps flagship, a couple boxes, open it up with Ian. And if I didn't grab, an auto that was worth the whole box, or if I didn't grab something that, that was going to get most of my money back, it didn't matter. I would grab the top rookies, the Joe Adell in this year, the Yordan Alvarez. Like in 2020, I mean, I sent in a ton of Alvarez, a ton of Gavin Lux, a ton of Kyle Lewis, a ton of Bichette. And even though they were base cards, you could send them in, pay $8, $9, $10 in bulk grade. You get them back whenever you got them back. And that card that was in the box, it cost you, let's call it $10 or $12 to grade. You were getting $30, $40, $50, $60, $80, $100, depending upon who the player was and at what time you sold it. You were not losing money on those boxes. And if that happens, if going in that it's EV, estimated value positive, thank you, Top Shot, and Top Shot Twitter for that fun term, the price is going to go up because everyone's going to buy it, and you're going to have to make the price go up. But now, what happened this year is, first of all, Topps products have been terrible. Even the Panini products haven't been that great. I opened Prism box. It's like, ugh. Like, this good hits are few and far between in those boxes, and, it's pretty crazy. But you can't just take the rookies and grade them and make money. You could make money on a Cam Reddish last year. You know what I mean? You can make money on the ancillary guys. You get a Killian Hayes base card, you're not grading it this year. If you are, you're going to lose money because you need it back in 2024. And who knows what it's going to sell for. So that's the difference. I think that's why Wax has not done why Wax has not gone up the way it is. And also, let's remember what we're doing here, right? We're comparing years as well. So let's go baseball, right? Who's the big rookie in this year's baseball? Joe Adell? Alec Baum? Last year. Look at the 2020s. Alvarez, Bichette, Lux, right? Names, right? I'm leaving out a bunch. Kyle Lewis won the Rookie of the Year. The year before that, right? That was Tatis and Vlad Guerrero. So obviously Wax for those years are going to be more. Before that, Soto, Acuna. Before that, Bellinger, Judge. I mean, you got Joe Adell this year. Come on. So, I mean, obviously Wax is not going to do what it's done in the last couple of years. The rookie class is not what the rookie class was. And as great of a player.
Joe Adell's not very good, Cage.
He's fine, but, he's not going to really move the needle. You buy his card for $1, right? His base card. So your basketball. LaMelo's a great player. I like him. He gave a great speech. He forgot who his mom was, it sounded like. I don't know what was going on there, right? And Anthony Edwards, I love the kid. I think he's going to be a real star. I really do. I think he's got some flash. I think he's funny. I think he's going to be a star player.
If you had to invest in Edwards or LaMelo, who would you pick long term? 10 years.
Edwards, because you could get 2 or 3 of Edwards for every LaMelo. So I would say Edwards just because his entry point, the point of investment entry is lower. But compare those guys to you had Zion and Ja last year, and you had Luka and Trey the year before that. Obviously, Wax from this year is not going to go with Wax that has been in years past. And look, the quarterback class this year, it's great, right? We all see Trevor Lawrence coming out for football, right? But last year's football quarterback class had Burrow and Tua and Herbert, right? And the year before that, you had Kyler, and you had a million guys, right? And the year before that, you had even Josh Allen, and you had, Baker Mayfield. I mean, you had all these quarterback classes. We'll see. Maybe Trey Lance is good. But remember, there's a reason why we had this boom, right? It's not just the hedge against inflation. It's not just it's an alternate asset class. It's not just that we're looking for places to put money. It's not just because people like cards and there's nostalgia. We've also had a period here in the last couple of years where the rookie classes in multiple sports, I just went through football, basketball, and baseball. They've been fantastic. I mean, you mentioned in an episode over the weekend how basketball was kind of dull in the late 2000s, right? I mean, who was drafted then?
Corey Maggette was my favorite player.
I mean, so Corey Spaghetti's not really, he's not driving the tax prices. So
dude, Corey Maggette was a fantasy beast.
He was great.
Larry Hughes, Gilbert Arenas.
Agent Zero.
Agent Zero.
But you get the point, right? Remember, Wax is going to be dependent on who you can get in there and then what you can get for that. And both of those things have taken a step backwards, if not 2 steps backwards, in multiple sports this year compared to the prior years. And that's, I think, why you're seeing wax prices go down.
Let's talk a little wrestling and UFC, okay?
Sure.
So Drake's PC asks, you guys frequently mention UFC as a play because of the international appeal, fighters from across the world, pay-per-views in different countries, etc. If so, shouldn't WWE and wrestling cards and memorabilia be a play for similar reasons?
No. Now I'll elaborate. UFC is a sport. WWE is not a sport. It's entertainment. It's fixed, right? And there's my easy answer. The longer answer is sure. There's a fan base. People like the fighters. People like the wrestlers. People like the entertainment. There's clearly a global fan base for it. It's clearly something that people pay for. They do pay-per-view and the whole 9 yards. But there's an element missing that's available in every other sport, even ridiculous F1, right? Even in tennis, right? And it's being able to pick your guy. Like, this is my guy. And there's a level of that in wrestling, right? You watch NXT, right? You say, this guy's a star. He's going to do these crazy flips, and they're going to call him up, and he's going to be in WrestleMania. People like, look at the Fighting With My Family story with Paige, right? Where, she was in wrestling for like a day and then moved up to WrestleMania, right?
Let me challenge your theory, though. What about Pokemon? Pokemon's not a sport. Pokemon is entertainment. It's a game.
So Pokemon is also missing the element of, like, you can bet on it, right? So Pokemon, but I'll get to Pokemon in 1 second. So just to finish this one up, right? It's the outcome is already predetermined. You know what I mean? Like who's going to win, ahead of time, right? You don't have that unless you believe some conspiracy theories out there in the Suns Bucks, right? There are still choices that have to be made right now. Do you buy Booker or do you buy Giannis, right? And somebody's going to be right, and hopefully the one who's right is making that call. In wrestling, when the Undertaker, goes to WrestleMania against, I don't know, John Cena, right? It's tough to say I'm going to pick Cena because I think he's the better wrestler. He's got better skills when the outcome is predetermined anyway. Pokemon, what's interesting about Pokemon is it doesn't have that. It doesn't have like you could bet on a player, you name it, but it is also a game. You know what I mean? So it has a different layer to it also. Like you're supposed to buy those and play a game and build a deck and do the whole whole 9 yards. And Pokemon's the widespread appeal of Pokemon is crazy. So while I agree the WWE is a global thing and there's probably room for it and it's something where you can make some money, I would not make a direct comparison to the UFC. I think the WWE might actually be more popular than the UFC. I do, right?
Don't you think WWE has had its run up too?
It has a huge run up. It's had a huge run. But you know what the WWE has that the UFC doesn't? They got some real frontline talent, and they're able, because it's fixed. Am I allowed to say that? Because it's entertainment. They're able to keep their headliners around longer.
I think so too.
And the UFC is not. You bring a UFC. Your Chuck Liddell wants to fight, but he would die. You know what I mean? Like Sting is still wrestling. I mean, these guys, they're still wrestling, and you can do that because it is a choreographed dance, right?
And even if they're not wrestling, they're still in the kind of collective culture, where they're now.
Ric Flair is still relevant, right? I mean, Ric Flair, people still buy. I mean, he's not wrestling per se, but Ric Flair is still relevant, right? I mean, he was wrestling up until a short while ago, and his daughter's wrestling now. I mean, the Undertaker is not a young dude, right? I mean, he's wrestling, and so Drake. Don't get me wrong. I like the WWE as an investment area. I do. I would be hesitant. I think the cards have come down a lot in the last 6 months or so, since where the highs were in February, just like UFC has, just like a lot of fringe stuff has. I think there's a lot of wrestling cards at PSA, and you're going to see a lot of that come out. The quality old stuff, I had an Andre 1973 and I had a 1982 Ric Flair. I had PSA 10s on both of them. I sold them way too early to very smart people. And
we haven't done the sob story go down memory lane of all the cards that you've sold early in a long time.
Cards like that, those are those are really nice plays. I just wrestling has that one little weird oddity to it, right? You're not like I didn't pick the prospect.
Let's talk a little NFL. So DJ Sports asks, with the NBA Finals coming to a close and baseball in the middle of the season, seems like NFL hype is starting to build. People are starting their fantasy leagues, and the first products of 2021 rookies is out now. Is now the time to start selling football cards?
If you have stuff, if you have quarterbacks, listen, there are guys who had fantastic seasons last year that unless you are in on, unless you think this is the guy, he's going to take a next step forward, I would be selling. I could be wrong, but I'd be selling Josh Allen right now. And people are expecting him to challenge for the MVP and be in the AFC, championship game against Patrick Mahomes and maybe win that, maybe go to a Super Bowl to improve on last year's season, right? That's a tall order. And I'm not saying he can't do it, right? But his cards are priced right now going into the season with that as the expectations, right? He still may do it, but if he falters out of the gate and that team's 2-2, the cards can be worth half of what they're worth right now. Like that's somebody who, expectations really high. I would probably take some of my money off the table on somebody like that. Baker Mayfield had a great season last year. His cards have gone up. They're not where they were, but he's gotten some momentum back. So another guy I probably would, look to maybe take some money off the table on. And yeah, Darren is, look at this. Bain Capital.
What's up, Darren Herman?
Darren Herman, long versus short term. You are 1,000,000% right. And if you're looking to just cash out on somebody now, rather than hold long term, then yes, you could be looking to sell now. But I'd also challenge you, Darren, if you're a long term Josh Allen guy, right? If that's your guy for the next 5 years, I still think you can sell him now. And in the dog days of the football season, week 6, unless he's 6-0, right?
Yep.
I think you could buy back in cheaper than he is now because the preseason hype it's huge for these guys. It just is.
I think football has more parity, and two, the cycle in football is not as clear cut as NBA. So like there are guys like Herbert, there's guys like Josh Allen that are kind of at their peak of their prices.
I would sell every Herbert card I own.
Right. But then there's also guys like Carson Wentz or Sam Darnold or guys that have real opportunities to lead a team. In the NFL, you guys don't know what happens when there's a trade, so things can change quickly. Those guys are buying opportunities where Herbert and Josh Allen to me seem like their success is already priced in. Patrick Mahomes is another one. If you're buying into Patrick Mahomes now, where do you see the possibility of his prices going?
See, I'd be more comfortable with Mahomes as a long-term investor because of what he's already done. He's already got the team accolades. He's already got the personal accolades. But Herbert's cards are not that far behind Mahomes. And you know what? It may be right. It may be deserved, right? He may be the next Mahomes, right? He may very well be. But we've done this, right? Does long-term even exist? It's a great question. Look at the AFC.
I think Anthony's doing a little play on words. He said Jalen Hurts.
No, but look at the AFC. Look at the AFC right now, right? You have Lamar Jackson, who people think is going to come and win the MVP again, and that team is awesome, and they're going to be in there. You have Patrick Mahomes. You have Justin Herbert. You have Josh Allen, right? That's just the top four off the top of my head, right? Joe Burrow, Tua, right? People are putting their life savings in those 6 guys. Unless there's a Mondo fantasy type trade and all of them get moved to 2 teams, not all of them can be in the AFC Championship game, right?
I would be really worried holding Tua cards. He did not look impressive at all. And that team overperformed last season because of amazing defense and amazing turnovers. I would be. I don't know about you, Cage. I would be nervous holding Tua cards.
Point is, they can't all go undefeated, and they can't all go to win a Super Bowl. They can't even all go to the AFC Championship. They can't even go to the the semis. They can't even
Semis.
Some of these guys, well, you know what I mean, because there's 6 of them, right? So they can't even. Someone in that list is not even going to make the playoffs this year. And it's tough because the prices on those, especially Herbert. And look, he looked the part last year. Don't get me wrong. He looked like he's going to be, the next big. Quarterback. He really does. He has all the tools. He's got a team around him. He's got, all the weapons. He's got a good offensive line. I mean, he looks the part, but his cards already have like 2 MVPs and 3 Super Bowls already baked into the price, So I'd be careful.
Cage, let's go a little bit different here. Okay. Sure. We have about 15, 17 minutes, guys. We're gonna wrap it right at 6 so you guys could hop over to Slabstock's Instagram. Cards and Candy 911 asks, if a player changes numbers, let's say LeBron went from 23 to 6, and I have his card from 2016 and it's 6 out of 99, is that considered jersey number?
So I never really get into the whole jersey number stuff. I think that purists would tell you it's whatever jersey he's wearing on that card or whatever jersey he was wearing the year that card was made. But if all things being equal, if LeBron changes his number from 23 to 6 like he's doing this year, and you have a card that's serial number 6, now it's worth slightly more than it was before he changed his number. Like, it's not, that card does not become a jersey number card, but I could see somebody paying a slight premium for that 6 that they wouldn't have otherwise paid had he not switched over to 6, even though it's a couple-year-old card. Does that make sense?
It makes a ton of sense. All right, let's see what else we got here, Cage. Any topics? I know this is Coffee with Cage. I'm jumping all over the place. We have a few more questions. Is there anything that's top of mind for you that you want to bring up? How was the show today? I know that they rented out the trade room, which doesn't make you too happy.
No, I mean, listen, I'm hoping for more at the National. Maybe I'll get let down, but I've never been there, right? So the local shows that I go to, it's the same people with the same exact cards trying to get the same inflated prices. There's nothing really different at it. There's no real action. Nobody on the dealer end wants your cards. If they do want your cards, they want them for, 60% of eBay. And then they're trying to sell you the same card back for 120% of eBay. I mean, I saw kids, actually saying to the dealer, you want what for it? Look, it's this on eBay. Here's a buy it now for less than that. And the dealer's like, I don't care. I'm into it for more than that. I heard that probably multiple times in some variation or another. And that's not good. You're not going to. You're not going to make shows a place people actually want to go to, and the trading, it's non-existent, and shows need to have kind of like a trade room kind of stuff. We kind of camp out in the lobby, and people walk by, hey, you trading, like that kind of stuff. So,
did you ever see yourself being a dealer?
I mean, I have done that at shows when I was much younger. I did it as a teenager. I would buy a table with my brother and my dad, and we put out our showcases and sell cards and stuff like that. But I would be one of those guys where I'm like, I want to sell everything on my table. You know me, I'm all or nothing. So by the end of the show, I'm like, let's get rid of everything. Let's go. Everything must go. It's
Liquidation sale. Liquidation sale. You have no overhead. You have no rent, but we need to liquidate.
You know how it works. You put the sign up, going out of business sale. It's got Sony guts, right? This card's got Sony guts, right? You don't see that? You don't mess with his own hand. Little Adam Sandler movie. You don't know what I'm talking about, but you would like that one.
Well, I see that you're growing out like a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow beard. I hope you shave before work tomorrow because
I can't. I have to. This is Friday. You went to work and haven't shaved all weekend. Yeah.
Cage. Nice, people see that you've been buying 90s inserts. Other than the ones that you've bought, obviously LukaNation Network has been a profitable endeavor for you. Congratulations. You're loading up on these 90s basketball inserts.
Yep.
What are some of your favorites?
Some that I don't own. Beam Teams. Love them from Stadium Club. Beam Teams, real nice inserts. Take It To Net. So they take it to .net, like little electrified ones, I like that kind of look, I love jambalayas. I love Power in the Key. I love the Scoring Kings. We mentioned on our show here, the Topps Gallery, Gallery of Heroes that look like stained glass. Those are pretty sweet. I don't own any of those. I'm trying to think what else from when I opened cards. I just started picking up some of these That's Jam inserts from Skybox 1998. Really cool, like interesting. They got like strawberry jam, grape jam, That's Jam kind of card. Those are pretty cool. I guess that's enough. But to me, 90s inserts, that was the fun. That was the part of collecting. You got a cool card. I mean, we like I said, I opened a box today and I got one of these like see-through inserts that I didn't even know existed. 97 Stadium Club, but it was Austin Crochet. I'm like, oh man, he was on the Pacers. He played for a while. He was in the playoffs and stuff, but he was not the guy you wanted. We got some cool cards though. They were all stuck together. Tim Duncan was in it, right? And Tracy McGrady. It's nice to open a box and get rookie, draft cards of those guys.
I'm gonna wrap with this. We're gonna talk a little bit of basketball. Why do you think Giannis doesn't get love from like the inner circle of the NBA, the LeBrons, the Wade, the Melo, like those seasoned guys? Like, why do you think it almost seems like Giannis is on the periphery of that inner circle?
You mean why don't they like him themselves, or why don't the fans put him in the?
No, the fans love him. The fans love him. I'm talking about like the inner frat of the NBA.
Everybody you just named, Dame only slightly. Everybody just named is older than him. Nobody wants the new guard coming in. Into the inner circle. They want to hang on to what they have, and he represents kind of like the new face of the league, the new type of player. I guess you can poke some holes in this, right? Because I think LeBron's a fan of Luka, right? He called him Luka Magic, right? When he drafted him and stuff, that's who he'd have on his team. But yeah, look, Jordan gave Kobe a hard time, right? Right, he wasn't exactly welcoming. Remember the first All-Star game? Like, I'm gonna cover the rookie. I'm gonna take care of this young kid from LA. You saw it in in some of the documentary, stuff that was out there.
He was very welcoming of Kobe. So they used to do. Kobe used to call him and get advice of like,
after.
This and that.
But you've seen the footage. In that first All-Star game, Jordan's in the other locker room saying, "I'm gonna cover this kid. Like this is not his game yet."
That's competitive nature. That's a good thing. That's a call out.
So, but you have to give me an example, right? Because I'm not in the locker room, and for all I know, LeBron is inviting Giannis over for Taco Tuesday. So, what is it that you're basing the question on?
Well, what am I basing? A lot of speculation, if you're really going that route. But I've noticed like the NBA has this like inner posse, this inner crew that like runs stuff, and I've always felt that Giannis was kind of an outsider part of that crew. He rolls with his brothers. Not many players are like tweeting out like in support of Giannis, where other players like, and this has become popular, they've voiced their support for other players in the league. And I'm wondering why Giannis hasn't had that. Maybe I missed it, but
I don't know.
Just out of curiosity.
I have no idea. From a collector standpoint, I will tell you, and I don't know what LeBron thinks, and I've never seen that, nor do I get into like clicks and that stuff. But there are clicks everywhere, right? maybe when we pass Jeff Wilson, is that his name? Joff Wilson at the National. Maybe he's going to walk past us and be like, I don't like these guys. Maybe we're going to be the Giannis.
He listened to our show.
But I know he listens because every 5 days after I make a play, it's his play. But besides that,
is that true?
Yeah.
What was the play? Was it your Tiffany?
It's going to be like
it was your Tiffany play?
It's like 10 of them. I'm only playing Jeff, but he obviously listens because Shea Way. He says his eyes are red because of the soap from the shower. His eyes are red. He needs Visine. That's his eyes are red. We know why your eyes are red, Jeff. But yeah, he went over to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, remember you see that in the story?" He's like, "Yeah, I heard you. You were on Luka's. Yeah, that one. So, but point. Maybe we see some of these other people and they're not nice to us. Maybe because maybe we're the Giannis. Maybe we're the new kid. Maybe maybe there's a clique. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't care. But as far as a collector standpoint goes, Giannis has quickly gone from that guy who people are like, he's going to build a frame, he's going to get better, he's going to be awesome, to he needs to win now. I mean, he's done everything else. He's got the accolades, he's got the MVPs, he's got the Defensive Player of the Year, and he's been in the league now. It's his 7th year. That's when Jordan won. It took LeBron a little longer, but LeBron's not Jordan. I mean, let's just all agree to that. But, this is the time. People are, if Giannis doesn't win, then the whole offseason is going to be like Giannis would have won if he could shoot some free throws. And you don't want that. So we're at that point now, what I mean? Like, collectors have gone from Giannis will eventually get there to Giannis is there and he has to take care of business now.
Why do you think that his prices haven't crept up? What do you think of the market seeing?
The stuff's not exactly rare. And like I said, right? So a lot of this is already baked in. Compared to what we talked about with like Josh Allen's cards, right? People are already pricing them that there's going to be some success there. And Giannis cards have gone up. They've gone up a lot, right? I mean, a year and a half ago, I went to a local store here and I paid $250 for a Prism Giannis Raw. Graded it, got a 9. Would have liked a 10, but 9, so it's Ian's. So think of how much that card went up. And that card was what, $6,000-$7,000, right? Even at the $1,500, $1,700, $1,800 that the PSA 10 is at now, it's significantly more than any of the other cards are out there. And, it's more than you're paying for a Luka right now. I know there's more Lukas and the whole deal, but, you got to start to ask yourself.
A ton more Lukas.
Would you rather have 2, 2.5, 3 Lukas or 1 Giannis? Start asking yourself that. Would you rather have, 6 or 7 Trays or 1 Giannis, right? You start. So the card's already, it's a base card. It's already gone up. I know the pop is low, but I think success has already been baked in, especially when you look at the fact that card was $1,200, coming into the playoffs, and then it moved all the way up to like $1,800. Like, I know that's not $6,000, but that's a 50% increase. So success already baked in. Do I think it probably goes up a little bit if he, wins one more game here in the next 2? Sure. Do I think that's going to be a long-term increase? No. But a championship is huge. Look what we just talked about with Mahomes, right? We just talked about with Mahomes saying, you were like, yeah, Mahomes' prices are, and I'm like, I'm okay with Mahomes long-term. Why? Because not only did he win the individual stuff, right? He won the individual accolades, but he has that championship too. So his legacy is there. Is he a GOAT? Not yet. Could he be a GOAT? Sure, because he's starting to compile that stuff. Giannis wins a championship on top of his personal accolades. Now, all of a sudden, people are more comfortable holding him long-term, and then you will see the price go up, or at least the floor on those cards, settle in. And you're right. Look, Ziggy has always got the math, right? So, you're talking about like a 6-to-1 there, right? So
2,600 PSA 10s for audio listeners. 2,600 PSA 10s, 17,000 PSA 10s of Luka's, 2,600 Giannis. Let's say Giannis wins a championship. Same amount of cards, same price of cards. Who are you holding long term? Giannis or Mahomes?
Mahomes. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely Mahomes.
Wow.
Yeah, because, listen, Mahomes, there's a lot of young players in the league. Justin Herbert's there, the whole deal, right? But Mahomes' legitimate shot to be the next Brady-type character in the league, right? There's not going to be another Brady. But you go back before Brady, there's Montana, right? You go back before Montana, there's, who the hell knows who the quarterback was. I don't even know. Joe Namath, whoever, Johnny Unitas, whoever the elite guys were, right? There's always that one. Is there a 1A? Is there a Peyton Manning? Is there a Drew Brees? Sure, right? But Mahomes has the ability to be the generational talent. He already sort of looks like it, right? Herbert looks great. Burrow looks great. Kyler Murray looks fantastic, and Josh Allen looks great. But none of them are people I think are challenging for that. I think it's an easy. Mahomes is 1. Everybody else is 2 and lower. There is no 1A, 1B scenario there. Basketball, I don't agree with that. Coming into the season, you said the MVP this year was going to be Luka. Didn't work out that way. He had a great year. He had put up great personal numbers. The team did not help him out in any way. But coming into next year, depending upon what winds up happening there, right, Luka could be the MVP favorite again, right? People love Trey. LeBron is still playing.
No,
right?
guys, for you guys listening there, I'm just an hour in picking up on Cage's vibe. That was a subtle kind of shot at Andrew.
No, I agree.
Because he wants me to know that I'm not always right at my predictions.
No, you are
and
right.
I make mistakes.
So, but listen, I didn't have a problem with the Luka prediction. And I think he still is a top 5 player in the league. And that's my point. Even if he's not the MVP, any year there's a round robin of guys in the NBA with Luka, with Dame, with Giannis, with LeBron, who's still there. There's any number of guys who can win the MVP this year, who will be the best player, who are this generation. Like, I don't see Giannis as the next LeBron. I just don't. I could be dead wrong, right? He won the MVPs. He won a championship. That could be fine. I think. Let me put it better this way. I think Mahomes has a better shot at being the next Brady than Giannis has at being the next LeBron. That would be the real reason I answer the way that I did.
As we take on season two, sophomore season, I got to give a shout out. I got 2 shout outs here. One shout out is to our audience. You guys are amazing. The comments, the responses, the engagement. You guys do so much stuff to keep us going. We're on YouTube now, and YouTube comments are pouring in, and that's super fun. And I got to give a shout out to my co-host, man. You bring it every single day. I know your life is busy. You have 2 kids that are almost teenagers. So, I mean, man, that's its own thing. They're fighting, they're growing, all this stuff. And you have work, and you have a family, and you show up every single day. And I know how important the hobby is.
Dude, how can I not give it back? How can I not say how difficult you have it? And I have to say how awesome it is that you put in the grind every day. You wake up in Mexico with the balcony and the beach and the pool, and you're able to still tear yourself away from that to come and talk sport cards with me. I mean, it is a real sacrifice, man. I mean, you talk about like you have. I would not trade, man. I mean, you have it tough.
You're a moron.
LukaNation,
so
we love
stupid.
you, man. We love you, man. Listen, season 2, we're having some fun. Tuesday night, I'll be at Bleecker Trading. Send me a message if you're local and you want to head over.
I'm excited. You know what I'm really, really excited for? So at National, you guys are finally going to get a chance to meet me. And you have this mirage of what Cage has portrayed me as. And then you're going to get the real thing. And I hope I exceed expectations, because I'll leave it like that.
Yeah, you won't find him, drinking a kombucha. That really is not going to happen. But if you do, you have to take a picture of it and send it to me. You have to, because this is what I want. I want a kombucha photo of Andrew. Listen, I hope we live up to the expectations of LukaNation. I really do. But we'll definitely see you guys in Chicago, and we got a couple weeks of fun content. Who the hell knows what's going to happen in the hobby before the National? Think of what's happened in the last 2 weeks, right? Like every company got bought, right? 1 million cards got sent away from auctions. They got pulled, right? Michael Jordan card doubled in price overnight. People are putting stickers and bright line demarcations in the different grades. I mean, you never know. Panini might get sold. Somebody might buy Leaf. I mean, I don't know who would want it, but somebody might buy Leaf. I'm just playing, Brian Gray. I'm just kidding. Thanks, everybody.